a gum goodness. If you watched my video, and I believe I'm going to be uploading that Wednesday, the last gum goodness was about the 3-hour possibility for SmackDown again. This is about what happened to Full Sail University on Thursday. Well, not Thursday, but while they've been there, and that's TNA. TNA is on Thursdays. They legitimately, I'm wondering if I'm going to make this as a gump goodness. I may actually switch this to a gump report. This may actually be a gump report. I haven't decided yet. By the time I hit the 8-minute mark, I'll know if this is going to be a gump goodness or a gump report because I'll be yapping so much. But if you don't know, days ago, while they've been filming in Full Sail University, someone who was in the crowd at Full Sail was recording. Now, this isn't something that has been done before, but this individual was ejected by TNA security. And this person went on X and talked about what happened. Under normal circumstances, as a fan, they wouldn't always pay attention. But this wasn't an ordinary fan. This was a wrestling reporter who has done this for years. This is what was reported, and JD had talked about it himself. I believe Brian Alvarez had also reported on this, talking about a fan at Full Sail University who was there and was, to a extent, recording, was ejected because TNA officials believed that he was recording the entire show, but didn't realize that this fan was a wrestling reporter who had been doing this for Impact Wrestling, my goodness, back then too. And they ejected him. He went on X and said, it wasn't fair. I have been doing this for years. No one ever had a problem. And then all of a sudden, they kicked my ass out. And they literally had to publicly apologize to this guy on X, saying, we are so sorry what we did. We shouldn't have done this. This was stupid. We're sorry. Please come back. How fucking stupid is TNA? Guys, let's put our cards on the table. I know that, let's make this clear. WWE is not making great content. No matter how much some people like it or not, it has not been great content for on and off for months. AEW has become so chaotic with its booking, and this is storytelling, that they've lost more than 40% of their audience. And I know there are more than a few people who are in my comments that are going to say, dude, AEW's been doing good. No! There is a difference between you liking the product and looking at not only the ratings for the show, because they redid the Nielsen ratings, and the show went from here, which wasn't great, to here. And on top of it, when was the last time you saw more than 10,000 people in any of the arenas before they switched to smaller arenas? Remember, almost a year and a half to 2 years ago, they were able to get into arenas where they can pack it up to 10,000, maybe 12,000 people. Of course, they never had the numbers of WWE. We're not talking about that. But they had numbers that were easily over or near 10,000 in any of the big arenas they were going to. Easily. Now they can't even pack them to go between 4,000 to 3,000 people at this point. Their numbers have dropped from here to here. This is not about you. This is not about me. You can say whatever you want in my comments. You can say that the best thing since sliced bread, better than WWE, better than NWA, better than WCW, better than ECW, better than what's going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling Noah. You can say what Maple Leaf Pro that Scott D'Amore is running, TNA. You can say they're better than any of them. But the raw numbers do not lie. They went from here to there. There is no lie about it. So deal with it. And I'm going to tell anyone, and one of my friends there, who I know who you are. You know who you are. I know you love AEW. I know you love GCW. But I'm telling you now the truth. Whether you like it or not, like I've always said, you can love a bad movie, as Jeremy from not wrestling. He does still care to a certain extent about pro wrestling. Geeks and Gamers has always stated, and I'm repeating what he said, you can love a bad movie, but it's still a bad movie. AEW sucks, and they know it. And all that matters to them is not about making great wrestling, it's just showing wrestling. And getting this, It's not about how passionate they are. It's about how they're booking. And their booking is bad. So, going back to TNA, we know that all these promotions have not been doing well. But, weirdly enough, AEW had not been booking very well. WWE has been so sporadic, particularly there's been no Roman Reigns on the show because he's off doing movies or recovering or whatever he wants to do. There has not been good booking there. TNA had been doing some good to not great, but very good booking. We know this. It's been shown. Bound for Glory is one of the best shows they've ever had with the numbers they have never seen for all the 23 years they have been in existence. They have never had numbers this big and interest. But what did they do after Bound for Glory? 4 fucking weeks of only recorded content that led nowhere. 2 Fade to Blacks. Then 1 show, again, like I said, from the Hardys, showing Hardy compound fights. And then Open Fight Night, which was showing generally old footage. Old freaking footage of shows that happened months ago with Jody Threat and everyone else. Santana without his damn belt when he went up against Cedric Alexander months ago. And what did we get last Thursday? The first live show after a month. The first thing we see is Santana with his belt being respected. And what did we get at the end of the show? Fucking Frankie Kazarian cashing in and getting his damn belt. And I'm not even against Kaz. Unlike JD or maybe Solomon or anyone else where they don't think Kaz deserves this title. I'm going to tell you this. Kaz, he may not be a main event wrestler. He's not. He's always been a solid wrestler with a great gimmick and on and off. Look, when it came to him working with Christopher Daniels in what was it? Not Fatal Influence. I can't remember what they were called. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I love the music for it. But essentially speaking, they had one of the nicer factions that had one hell of a great song. I don't remember the name of it right now. It's blanking. I'm sure someone's gonna tell me, "Oh my God, dun, 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 dun," that song. I don't remember what the name of their group was at the time. I'm blanking for some reason right now because I actually liked that faction. It wasn't bad, and the music I just loved. But he did a good job in many things that he did. And seeing him as champ, I'm not against it as long as they book him correctly. He can sell stuff. I'm not going to say he's one of the best champions they'll have, but I'm going to say that he's going to do a solid job as a champ, counting on how long he keeps it. Now, JD has already stated, and now we have already gone past, this is not a Gump report. Not a Gump, goodness. But as it comes down to right now, JD, in his humble opinion, he believes that Kaz is keeping the title because he believes there's a good chance AJ Styles will try to go after it in his last year running. Because next year's his last year. He's done in 2026. He is officially retiring. He's just not going to wrestle anymore. He's done. Well, at least general wrestle. Maybe he'll do one more match or something. Maybe. But it's going to be depending on him and what he really feels. That's what he thinks is happening here. Whether AJ wins that title or not is freaking irrelevant. I don't remember. I saw someone, Wrestle Theories, I think his name. I don't remember. I do not remember. I did see it briefly. And when I came across a video saying pretty much, TNA is now dead and it's within the last day. And I just saw it and I just listened to him briefly for about a minute or two. And I thought, nope, don't want to go any further. I don't want to sound like I'm copying somebody or mentioning too much of this stuff. Not that they don't deserve the credit. I think his name is Wrestle Theory. I think. I don't remember. But he was not much different than me. He's saying, we haven't seen anything from TNA for 4 weeks. They just came off one of the best shows and would it killed them? Would have killed them to produce something? No. And this comes down to one person. Carlos Silva. He is the current president of TNA. It's not Delirious. This is what people are are complaining about with the booking of, if it's true that Kaz is going to hold that title for AJ, or maybe not. Maybe they'll give it back to Santana. It's not the point. And also what I think JD had talked about, because I did see his video talking about Santana having an issue, going to go over to WWE. Guys, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter even if Santana is going to consider going to WWE. Many do. What's the difference? There's no difference between him or Jordan Grace or AJ Styles. It's not the point. It counts on the one who's running the damn company. I said this more than almost a year ago when the previous president was running the damn company. He didn't know how to run a company. It's not about you hearing him say, dude, he's passionate about pro wrestling. He worked in the business for 30 years in network, and now he's running a pro wrestling company, and he's passionate about it. It's not the point. It counts on how to run a company, not about how passionate you are running a company. How you run a pro press. Look at Tony Khan. He is a super fan of pro wrestling. And you could say a lot about Tony, and honestly, you could say a lot. But at least he does understand to a certain extent what is needed for pro wrestling as a person who is a promoter of pro wrestling. Silva is not. He is originally a network executive who has now been put in position like the previous network executive. I believe he was 25 years. No, the one before him was about maybe 30 years in the business. He's easily maybe 20, 25 years. It's not the point. He's not a promoter. I'm not saying all promoters are great. They're not. Jeff Jarrett was never perfect with his dad. Vince was great, but he was never perfect, and neither was his dad. No promoter is. But when you get a network executive to get into a position like this, similar to Eric Bischoff, who is a very rare individual who did know how to run something once he learned it, Silva, at this point, is not doing well. I'm not even against him. This is not about him being a piece of crap person. This is not about him. It's about the performance he's been doing. The only thing he's done is delegated work, and that's it. And the only thing else he's done is do everything he can to try and get a TV deal and to please WWE. That's the deal here. This is all about using pro wrestling to make money. As I said in my previous video, if you saw it talking about SmackDown going to 3 hours, this is not about making pro wrestling. You can say a lot about Vince, but he was still a promoter at heart who tried to become a businessman, turned his company into a corporation, and ran it that way. But he's still a promoter who is trying to be a corporate businessman. There's a difference between a wrestling promoter who is a businessman, yes, there's a difference, but he's still a promoter at heart compared to someone who's a corporate businessman who doesn't care about what product you make as long as you make a product that makes money, to make the product, to use the product, to grow the dividends of the company and the shareholders and themselves. There is a difference. Again, when it comes to this situation, we got, and I'm saying this again, hear my words. We only got about a week left before Thanksgiving. 1 week left. We don't know what Gold Rush is going to be like this week, and we don't know what Gold Rush is going to be like next week. This is being released on Tuesday. It's not Gold Rush yet. It's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I have not seen Gold Rush night 1 yet. So I don't know what's going to happen to the TNA wrestlers there, counting how many are there, and what matches, and if there's any story. But I want to make this very clear to you. At this point, TNA is literally at a crossroads. Because at this point, they only have a few more days or weeks left to record for December and then January before they pick up again. It better be good booking for whatever they produce. If they show us recordings again like they did last year, understand guys, if you saw the beginning of 2025, we mostly got repeats of everything. No new content, nothing. Yeah, people tweeted on X. It doesn't matter. It depends on what's on the damn show. If they give us the same stupid shit they did in the last 4 weeks, and I want to make this clear, when it comes to Fade to Black, the only thing they need to do is one night of Fade to Black and then 3 weeks of content. It's not the point they wanted to go home for Halloween. Who cares at this point? Your show, your company is gotten a lot of traction working with another company. Don't be stupid and actually give nothing to your fans or the reporters for that matter to build up interest in your damn product. And they didn't do that. They did the most that made any sense. You do not just leave it stagnant for a month. That's what they did. They should have never done it. And now, coming back, they literally stripped the title off. They make him lose. Yes, they protected him because of the arm or disarm. It's not the point. People wanted to see Santana win and become the new TNA champ. They stripped that shit off him. Food on Kaz. It doesn't make a difference that now there's an invasion from WWE to TNA. It makes no difference. You had no new content, and the only thing that was good for you was your new champ that had not been seen for a month. He comes in, he does a comment in his promo about how he's proud to be a champion, that he's speaking for the Puerto Rican people. I'm half Puerto Rican. I didn't understand him in Spanish. As I said in my previous video in TNA. I don't speak Spanish, but I am half Puerto Rican. For me, I only care about the person. I don't care about my race. I care about if this person in pro wrestling is good or not. I try to see it like as being half black. I try to see it as being part Puerto Rican as well. Same thing. You can talk about being the first of anything, but it counts after that. Do you have to keep using your race to make you important? And I'm hoping at that time that Santana wouldn't do that, but he didn't even get the option to do it. Now, even if they throw the title back on him, he will be a 2-time champion, where defining his run as an individual in pro wrestling was the most important. To become a champ, that means they truly trusted you with the title and being the face of the company. And in 1 month, he was not seen. Yes, he was on X tweeting. Yes, you showed Fade to Black 2 episodes. Doesn't mean a damn thing. You needed him on the damn show that now you made it live. He looked good. He had his match. And then you made him job. Not counting about who he jobbed to. That Kaz is just not a main eventer. It's not the point. You made him job. When people wanted him to be champ, you made him job to somebody. And it doesn't matter that at Final Resolution that he's going to get that title back. Or even if incredible it could be, don't believe it will happen, that at Survivor Series War Games, we actually get a match between Santana and Kaz. I'm not saying that will happen, but that would be the only thing that would make some sense other than Final Resolution, which would be the last show they will have live for the year. Silva is the one who signed off on anything that goes on there. It doesn't matter if it's creative. It doesn't matter if it's merch. It doesn't matter if it's something that is important with WWE and TNA. He's the one that signs off on everything. It'll go across his desk, even if it's just a minor thing, fine. No, we got to think about this. Either way, he signed off on it. This is his baby. This is what he did. And to me, this is bad management. Flat out. The optics of this is so bad because you just made, one, your champ job to someone on your first live show after a month of nothing since Bound for Glory. Two, going back to the reason of this video, you literally ejected someone who had been doing the same thing for years and didn't realize he was a damn wrestling reporter who went on X, got traction, and then you personally had to get on your hands and knees and suck his dick to make up for what you done. because he had to apologize. He apologized publicly on X for doing something he should have never done. He should have asked around to find out who the hell this person is. Or better yet, leave him. If certain things get leaked, fine, it happens. Leaks happen in pro wrestling. And then, hearing that is a possibility that if it's not WWE trying to leak something to the wrestling news, it's TNA, and they're being very aggressive about it, makes it worse. I don't know which one it is. Either it's WWE or TNA. One of the two tried to release some type of leak that looked very aggressive, and guess what? They got caught. Because if JD's talking about it, someone else figured it out as well. So when it comes down to this situation, it's like pro wrestling doesn't know what they're doing. AEW is not doing well because of its booking. It just isn't. It's not good. Then when it comes to WWE, a lot of the booking is incredibly boring. And it's the same people over and over again. And now moving one of their shows to possibly 3 hours, possibly, and knowing full well that USA is going to be making a lot more money from it, and WWE will get a good portion of that money. That I'm sure, even with the contract, their baseline has been set. It doesn't mean they can't get extra. There's always some type of negotiation if they do more of a show that they may get some more money. Doesn't mean it's always. But there is a possibility that was negotiated in their original contract that at certain points, if you need more time, we'll give it to you, fine. Even when we don't get any money. Or, you need more show, fine. You need to pay us more at certain points with certain type of endorsements or advertisement or something. You never know. It counts on the contract. Fine. But they're not producing great TV. And now they want to move it to 3 hours, possibly permanently, which I believe they would do. Even though it's rumored that it'll only be short term for this, well, maybe, I don't think it's going to be this year, probably next year. It'll be, if it happens, 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. I believe it'll be permanent. I do believe they want to replace Raw with 3 hours, with SmackDown with 3 hours. I do believe that. But in the end, what I believe is this. Wrestling is screwed up right now. They are so determined to care more about money than not thinking about making something that people will enjoy. They're so determined to get either new TV deals, new endorsement deals, new merchandise, keeping the same people in the same places because they know their bottom line does not go as low due to the fact that you keep the same people in their same places. People seem to like them. They still buy a good amount of merch that keeps the bottom line really stable, and that all they care about. It just is upsetting and frustrating. And that's making me think, okay, this is me. Due to the fact of how TNA, AEW, and WWE are acting, I must do something for myself before I get burnt out of all this corporate, because JD noticed it, and Solomon, I'm sure, notices, and Alex, and all the other wrestling reviewers, they got to notice that this is going to become very frustrating very soon as you see more and more corporate things be put into wrestling. I'm going to have to figure out how to diversify, to go beyond just AEW, WWE, TNA. I may have to try and see if I can see more different shows and do more reviews of either specials, or if I can get a chance to watch more shows of maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not really a big New Japan guy. I'm just not. If I was going to do anything with them, I would just see maybe their specials, or maybe an episode or two once in a while. That might be one. See if I can watch NWA, which I'm not sure about because it's not been doing very well with Billy Corgan. Particularly, I did hear there was some type of problems and accusations really bigger than what they normally have between Tony Khan and Billy Corgan. See if I can watch Rev, maybe. Defy, maybe. If it's possible to do maybe Hog. Or, I don't know about GCW. Even though Nick Gage is not there now, he is basically indefinitely out of wrestling right now. I don't know, maybe. I'm thinking about what other shows I can check out. I'm legitimately thinking about even possibly going back to Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion. I am considering reviewing Platinum and I believe the other show because I did one once months ago. I may try and go back to that again. I do not know yet. Or maybe I might find wrestling shows that I've never seen or just heard about and see if that might be the best thing. If I can see it. Remember, I don't have a big budget, guys. I want to make this clear to you all. I do not have a big budget. I do not have the money constantly because I am disabled. I don't have it to get subscriptions from different types of places to be able to watch wrestling. It's got to be something that I can afford, and if it was possible to get a lot of shows, I would do it, if possible. Because I don't have a big budget here. I got to make sure I don't overspend stuff because I'm not working. I'm permanently disabled. I have to be careful what I do. But this is just me, and I hope you like this Gump report. It was originally supposed to be a Gump goodness. Now it's gone to a report. Leave a comment below. This should be released by Thursday, because I'm going to release the previous video, Gump goodness, tomorrow. Peace.